Alright, so I want to put a little video out there of how to use Khan Academy. I know a lot of people have already used it before, but I wanted to make sure that everyone had all the tools they need for putting together a group, being able to monitor group progress, and be able to assign scholars different skills and activities that would align to the things that we want to intervene with or intervene on as soon as they become evident in our classes. So I've already signed into Khan Academy, and I've gone to my particular page. You can see that I've already played around on here a little bit. I've got a little mastery challenge over here, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But where you would start out originally is just at the coach button. So if you hit the coach button, you get this little screen that's going to come up, and you'll see that I have a couple people that I've already put in here that I'm already coaching, which are just I've just made these people up, and I've been playing around with it recently. But where you would start is you go to Manage Students. When you go to Manage Students, you'll see that I've already made a 5th grade tab where I've put my scholars that I have just been playing around with, and you can see that there's a code up here. This code is going to be very important because it's what you're going to give scholars to type into their own account that will add you as their coach. If I wanted to start a new one, I would just hit the new class, and I could name this whatever I want, 6th grade. UPenn if I wanted to, and now I have a 6th grade class. I could enter in all of my scholars' email addresses right here if I wanted to, but I mean, regardless, it's going to give you that code, which I think it's easier just to give scholars to punch in the very first time. It adds you as a coach. You don't have to do anything. They do all the work. Love it, and done. I want to get rid of this because who wants that? So that's how I'm going to set up my groups, and then I'm going to have kids actually go in and request me as a coach. I'm going to show you what is going to pop up for scholars the first time that they use this. I have another one test. Am I spelling this right? Yes. So this is another student that I have that I made up, and this is the first time that they would have ever come to this page, and this is what it's going to look like. There's 502 modules that they can be proficient in. I haven't done anything. This is my name up here. Hey, what's going on, Pi? And then right down here is where it says Start Pretest. The pretest is actually going to be something that's great for kids. When they finish everything that you want them to do, then it will take them through things that they are ready to work on their own. So like with ST Math, it will kind of self-guide scholars through all of this. However, it gives you the option to put certain things in front of them that you want them to have exposure with immediately so that we can start intervening quicker and not waiting for certain skills to come around as scholars get to it. So as scholars get to this part, they have an 8-question test. If they get the question wrong, no problem. If they skip a question, no problem. And actually, it's better if they do say that they didn't see something. So if I'm a 6th grader, I might say, well, do we know what vertical angles? I don't know what those are yet, so I would have my scholars say, nope, I have no idea what that is. Haven't learned that yet. However, you know what? I do know how to subtract fractions. These are like denominators, so I'm going to say, well, 8 minus 4 is 4, and I'm going to have 14, and I'm going to submit that answer. Notice it didn't actually make me simplify the answer. It actually didn't even tell me if it's right or not. So with this one right here, it could be, I don't know what square roots are yet, so I haven't learned that. This one, oh, okay, well, I got 6 over 19. And you'll see that it's kind of adaptive. So every time I get a question right, it's going to go into some sort of different skill. So with this one, which of these are prime numbers? I know 17 is a prime number, so I'll click on that. Maybe. Hogwarts, shows the number of pounds. How many points did Ravenclaw receive? I see 60 right there. Yep, awesome. What number could replace R below? I see it's like 9. Maybe I get this one wrong. I'm like, oh, it's 9. Notice that it does not say that I get the problem wrong. It just is collecting data on what I know and what I don't know. So this one, it says plot 510. Maybe I go to 10. Or yeah, maybe I go 10.5 instead. Again, it doesn't tell me what I did wrong. Oh, I have to drag it. There we go. Boom. Good news about this program is that it's a lot of exposure to exactly what they're going to have to do on the math state test anyways, where they're going to have to manipulate points, manipulate graphs. So it's nice in that like they're getting like this double exposure not only to the math but also to some of the technical skills they're going to need while they're taking the state test. Submit the answer. It's going to take some time and say like, okay, you're good at this, you're not so great at this, you need to practice this. You can take some time off of that, and it comes up with this little dashboard. Boom, good timing, Chris. Says that, these are things that seems like I've practiced in the past. These are some things that maybe I'm better at. Here's some things that I'm really good at, and here's some things that it feels that I'm master at this point. So 1-digit subtraction, 1-digit addition. Feels like it's pretty confident that I know how to do these things. I've earned a little badge. Kids love the fact that they get badges and they get all these like little energy points, and it's all that kind of fun stuff. So I would close this. I'm a scholar. It's the first time I've done this. I've taken the pretest. Congratulations, I've got this huge dashboard up here with things that I need to start working through. I hit awesome, and then here we are. Now I've done everything that I need to do, and this is everything that it wants me to start doing. So it's given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills that it wants me to work on just today. And these are what it thinks that I need to work on. So reading line charts. I can go to this one first. And it says, all right, well, how many gold pairs of socks did she see on Tuesday? Tuesday, 5. I go up here, I hit 5 and enter. Correct answer, awesome, I move on. Notice that I get a little check mark right here. I need to get 5 in a row to be able to move on. How many silver ties did you see on Tuesday? Maybe I put 2 here. Nope, or hey, why not 3? I hit enter, and it gets a little shaky thing back and forth. Let me do that one more time. Nope, you're wrong. So then I go back, maybe I don't know what's going on here. I can hit the hit button, look at the dot for Tuesday, it highlights it for me. I still don't understand what's going on. Oh, okay, I have to go over to this side. Maybe I still don't know what's going on. It's going to legit just tell me, here is the answer, 1. The key here is that you have to have scholars take time to read this stuff, or else they will never understand what's actually going on. They'll use that hint button as just like, I'm stuck, hint, 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 here's the answer, move on. So I hit 1, I get the right answer, all right, I can move on now. However, we see I don't have 5 in a row anymore. Now I have to get 5 in a row all over again. So I'll do this really quickly. You can watch my little scores up here change as I go. 1, come on. Saturday, 3. Wednesday, 7. Thursday, if you heard that little cat on the ground right back there, it's because it wants me to feed it, but I won't do that because she's being awful. Sunday, I actually can't see that very well. It looks like 6. And I get that done. Hey, I got 5 in a row. Sweet, you get 100 points for completion. You get badges because you practiced a test until you got it right. You got picking up steams. It's the first thing that I've ever done. And it shows me that instead of needs practiced, it shows me that now I have practiced it. This over here is going to be a countdown of when I can go back and practice it again to get to level 1. You'll see that it doesn't let me just practice this anymore like 40 times in a row, which is how I used to do it with my kids. Is I would have them practice something for an entire day and get like 40 at-bats, which is great. However, it wasn't transferable in that they couldn't do it the next day or the day after that, or I wasn't sure that they could do it. So what it's going to do is it's going to say, you practiced this, and then to get to the level 1 mark, you can practice this again in about 16 hours, or the next day. And at that point, you're going to practice the exact same thing, and it's going to make sure that you know how to do this throughout the entire week. That'll get you to level 2, and then finally it'll get you to a mastery level. I was originally not so hot on this idea that I was going to get 5 at-bats and then move on, except for the fact that we're talking about things that scholars are missing, these basic facts. And this is really going to give them the opportunity to code switch, to be able to apply these facts, and to be able to get to a really deep level of fluency. So that's what we're going to do. Of course, I don't want kids just to go through all this stuff willy-nilly and to just do whatever they want. So, as a coach, I want to be able to make sure that I'm giving them exactly what they need. The first thing you want to make sure that kids do before they get into this, the first time that you show them, is you're going to want them to go down to the Coaches tab. And this is where they're going to request you as a coach. So if I wrote down my code, which is 6K, H, it's a code that's specific to me, which means that now they're in my coaching portfolio. So I'm going to log out, because now that person's in my coaching portfolio, and I can start to assign things to them specifically. Log in. I forgot my password. There we go. So now I'm logged in. I can go back into my coaching tab. I should see Test Scholar 314159. Boom, there they are. And I can see all the things that is in their practiced level. If I go to this particular one right here, I can see, like, all right, they were practicing this, and they got all of these right. They got this one wrong. I can actually click on that one. It'll show exactly what they got wrong. It says after 9 seconds, they put in 3. Wah, wah, wah. They did it again after 3 seconds. Wah, wah, wah. And get next step. It's like, all right, so finally they hit the right answer after they hit the hint button 3 times. So you get to see how many hints it takes them, how long they're taking in between these. So if I see 0 seconds right here, that means that they just hit the hint button, click, click, click. So I can go check in with that scholar and say, hey, you didn't actually read this. And it's kind of like a quick little intervention for them. It's just like, hey, you need to use this correctly. So what I can do now is in my coaching tab is I can go to these scholars and I can actually make recommendations. Now, if I'm working with decimals, so it could be adding decimals, and I know that scholars are having a hard time with adding decimals, well, if I type in adding decimals or if I type in keywords, it'll come up with a bunch of different practice items that I can pick from. So now I can actually click in the order that I want them to do it, the things that I actually want them to do. So it'll show up that I want them to do adding decimals 0.5, adding decimals 1, and adding decimals 2. I can include a due date, so this is the beginning of the week. I can say that I want this done by this, what is today, the 13th? Yeah, so I want this done by the 18th, by 5 p.m. And I can send that to my scholar. That means that when the next time they log in, these will be the things that they will have to do. So like ST Math, they're going to have a bunch of things that they could possibly do. However, I've self-guided it, so I want them to do the things that I want them to do first. I'll log back in as that other scholar just so you can see what this looks like. I think I'm still under time. If this is a YouTube clip, then I need to make sure that I have this in under 15 seconds, 15 minutes, I mean. This is all my self-narration, of which you don't actually need to hear, but I'll just keep talking because why not? So here we are. I logged back in. I'm back in here. Oh, I get to go do some mastery challenges tomorrow in about like 16 hours. I'm going to go hit my first one. Oh, look at that. It's nothing just willy-nilly anymore. It's exactly what Mr. Friedline wants me to do. And it was given to me by, oh, look, it's from Mr. Friedline. He wants us to do at 5 p.m. by this Friday. That means that I'm going to do these in order as they appear throughout the entire week. Now, if I get through adding decimals 0.5, 1, and 2 today, well then I get to move on to reading bar charts, and I get to move on to multi-digit division without remainders if I want to. Well, not if I want to, I will have to go on to something like that. However, every day it's going to pop up that this, and this have to be done. So I jump in here, and now I have to do exactly what I need to do, which is going to be the most pressing for the interventions that I need to have done by the end of the week. As soon as I get through all that kind of fun stuff, then I have the opportunity to go back and master them. But that's really it. Kids will be able to get the interventions that they need when they need it. We're not going to have to wait for the program to adapt to the scholar. If we have scholars that are not adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators, then I don't have to wait for the program to ramp up to that part. I can go in, I can say I want you to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators tomorrow, and it will show up. It's the first thing that shows up. It's the thing that they have to work on. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a better intervention than we have had with ST Math. While I think ST Math is great, I think that this is a little bit more immediate and urgent of a program that will allow us to get the things that we need to get done faster. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to seeing it implemented.